Good morning to everybody. It's a beautiful morning. Sunday, 6:45 where I am, Vancouver Island. As you can see, got the boat all nice and cleaned up. We've got a beautiful sunrise on the horizon. We're about to head out. So right now I'm about to start up the boat. Got a few things to clean up inside. Gotta remember to shut my sea cock, so they call it, more or less the valves on the hoses to the sinks and whatnot. Had a flood once before, earlier in my learnings of this boat, and flooded myself. So yeah, I'm just finishing up a few things inside. Gotta open up the valve for my water for the engine because it's water cooled. You don't want to overheat. And call our companions that are going to be following us. This is the first time I've had the boat off the docks, and I guess it's close to 6 months now, maybe 5. Yeah, I had a few technical difficulties, some loose wires, engine wouldn't start and whatnot. And now this is our sea trial again. We're about to start our adventures for the summer, and I'm hoping that you guys will follow with us. I have a bunch of ideas in mind to add some content to our videos. Because I've sailed before, doesn't mean I'm completely 100% experienced. My companion isn't experienced at all. She's very new to sailing. But nevertheless, I have all the ESA books, and we're going to learn how to sail through them. Not that I don't know how, but we want to know better. And also maybe some survival techniques and whatnot, and hopefully you guys like and enjoy our videos and continue to follow with us. See you soon. Alright, so here I got a sea cock. It's actually open. Everything's nice and dry. This is our water separator for making sure nothing gets into the engine from the ocean. Alright, thank God we got water flow considering the valve was closed. Thought it was, open. Thought it was closed. But nevertheless, so far everything's so good. See, I got my lines ready for takeoff. I'm taking off on my own this morning. I just gotta disconnect my power. And yeah, we're gonna soon be on our way. One thing you always gotta watch out for out here are logs and debris in the water. Especially when your marina is located right near a mill. That's the dock. We're now departing from. It'd be nice to do that for the entire summer. It's a noisy racket around here. It's the Fisherman's Wharf and the marina where our companions are staying at the moment. Should be arriving shortly. I think I see them. They're up ahead. See if I can zoom in here without making too much. There we go. Looks like their boat. Off to a beautiful day. Well, my engine just died on its own. Lovely. My companions are on their way back to try and give me some assistance and figure this out. I'll show you here. Didn't get too far off of the marina. Still right next to the Fisherman's Wharf, right next to where our companions were docked. Alright, well hopefully we're back up and running shortly. Well, we're being towed back. Engine failures. Might have to bleed my injectors. We'll see what has to happen. Engine's turning over. I've got power to it. I've got oil. So here we are, being towed by a companion. And heading back, I guess. Short trip. Ships ahoy! We've landed on Wallace Island. Here for a visit.
There's a wine glass one.
So many signs.
All kinds. Look at this one. This one's fancy. With the hammock. And the hat.
Alright, so today, working on my engine, had a few little issues. Pretty sure I had a water problem. So as you can see here, there's a fuel filter. It goes on here. Here's a little Yanmar engine, model 2GM20F. Hope you can see that. It's pretty tight space. So we got a primer pump right here. Don't know if you can see it. Flashlight ends on it. That's what I'll have to use to reprime the machine engine once I get these fuel filters back on. So to start, I was in here and there's a filter that goes on that water fuel separator. I'll show you it in a second here. I just went to the local store to order a new filter for both the fuel and the water fuel separator. As you can see, it's a pretty tight space right there. So I had to use my spill sheets to be able to get out everything, like get out the water, because a dish would not fit inside of there. Yeah, I was getting a little bit ahead of myself. As you can see, I wrapped up some of my garbage inside of on my drive shaft once again. Thank God I was just turning the engine over slightly just to try and feed some fuel through. So I'll have to cut that off. Springtime, I should have ran through my system a little bit better and just made sure everything was running fine. So obviously I got water in my fuel over the winter. I did leave my cap open there for a little bit. Through some of our storms, water got in there. So that's lesson learned. Always, after you refuel or do anything there, make sure that you always have that cap back on so no condensation or anything can possibly get in there. So I believe I got the water out. Basically just kind of keeping everything open right now. Hopefully the water will gravity drain. Show you outside here. So I'm pretty sure it's all gravity fed, because as I was draining the fuel, it just kept draining. So I drained it until there was absolutely no water. It was pretty easy to tell right off the hop because it was a straight clear liquid. Right here, as you can see, that's a valve that's coming from my fuel tank. So I close that. It's always open when it's in line, in direction with the fuel line, and when it's 90 degrees to that, the valve is closed. So I shut that off. When I saw that I was getting nothing but fuel and no more indication of water, obviously it's best to drain the tank as much as possible, but you only have so many spill sheets, so hopefully I'm cleaned out. And yeah, now I'm replacing the fuel filter so that there's no chance of any water being in there possibly at all. Like I said, I'll have to prime it, and then hopefully I can fire up this engine and get this boat back on the go so that I can enjoy some of my spring and enjoy this weather and the boating season. Alright, so this is the fuel filter for a 2GM 20F Yanmar engine. Comes from Wix. There's the number, and it simply goes in here. I've already got it kind of dirty. Try and keep it as clean as possible. Right, so this is the next filter. This is your fuel water separation filter. There's a little cap that goes with it, and you can see the bleed plug there, and it all situates right here. So before I install, make sure this water separation cap is clean. You can see here, sorry about the flashlight, this O-ring is fresh. It goes on top of the filter. That screws in this way. Underneath there's another new O-ring. Replace that, make sure everything is clean there so that you get a nice solid tight fit. Okay, so that filter's back in place, and we're basically ready to start the priming system. I can open up my fuel again, as I showed you in the lazarette. I'll show you once again. Okay, so now I'm in my lazarette, or the tool crib, bosun's locker, whatever you must call it. This is your inline valve. Just make sure it's turned so that it's in line now with the line, and it'll be open, allowing fuel to get into the system. So let that bleed in for a bit, and then I'll start to prime. Alright, if you're looking to prime your system, here's the manual pump. This item is hooked up to your camshaft in the inside of the engine. If you do it manually, you pump this, which takes a very long time. You'll feed the fuel up this fuel line into your fuel filter and then bleed through these nuts. Basically, if you're going to do it with the engine and the starter, you'll want these two pieces to be closed. So this is your compression. Now your compression is off. When they're down, your compression is on. So you want your compression off. Make sure they stay off, and you will attempt to start the engine, and then you will crack open the nut, shut the nut, and continue to do this until the air is all bled out from here. After the air is bled out from there, you'll work your way down the system to this nut, You can see it's a little bit stripped there, and once the air is bled out from there, work your way to the injectors, and there's your fuel line into the nut right there. That's braided on. There's 2 of those with this 2G engine, since it's a 2-cylinder item. And typically after that is complete, if you're attempting a fast start, you'll end up frying your solenoid on your starter, so that will most likely need to be replaced. You'll know if you change your alternator, or if your alternator is good and your batteries are good and you're not getting anything starting. It's typically your solenoid after that, so you can give it a tap and that'll quickly start it. So.